The courtroom did not feel neutral. Courtrooms never are. They pretend to be balanced, but they breathe power. Whoever enters already labeled as a victim gets softer air. Whoever enters as accused feels the weight immediately, even before the judge looks up. Everyone was present. Parents on one side, the driver on the other, lawyers behind them, observers behind everyone. And at the center of it all, elevated, unmoved, sharp-eyed, Judge Judy. This was not a place for emotional performances. This was a place where stories go to die if they cannot stand on their own legs. The parents presented their version first, not as a rehearsed lie, but as a trauma-shaped narrative. Their explanation revolved around shock, fear, and the image that burned itself into their memory, their daughter bleeding, the driver holding a knife, chaos everywhere. Judge Judy listened without interrupting. That silence mattered. She wasn't absorbing emotion, she was measuring consistency. The parents emphasized confusion. They emphasized instinct. They emphasized how any parent would react the same way. They didn't accuse aggressively. They framed themselves as helpless, panicked, forced into suspicion by circumstances. This strategy works in emotional courts. But Judge Judy's court is not emotional. She observed what was missing more than what was present. No mention of seeing an attack. No mention of seeing the wolf, but also no denial that wilderness exists. No explanation for the injury patterns. Just fear, stitched together with assumption. Then attention shifted, naturally, inevitably, to the driver. He stood alone in the open space that courts reserve for people society is still deciding whether to trust. Judge Judy studied him carefully. Not his words, his posture, his stillness, his restraint. Guilty people leak urgency. Innocent people leak exhaustion. His account was presented not as defense but as sequence. A scream. Distance. A child on the ground. An animal retreating. A knife used not as intention but interruption. The court absorbed this version differently. Not warmly. Not kindly. But attentively. Judge Judy's mind began doing what it does best, separating what sounds bad from what actually matters. The knife was addressed fully, not avoided, not minimized. It was explained as a standard safety tool for mountainous travel. The kind of object people judge harshly only after something goes wrong. Judge Judy mentally compared this to reality: hikers, guards, drivers, locals, many carry knives in such regions. The object itself was not unusual. The timing made it uncomfortable. Discomfort, however, is not guilt. Then came the child's account, not directly spoken, but relayed in the only way the court allows when protecting a minor. Simple. Repetitive. Consistent. The child did not describe betrayal. She described rescue. Judge Judy has seen enough cases to know that children lie when coached, not when traumatized. Trauma makes memory raw, not strategic. Medical evidence followed, stripping emotion completely out of the room. Photographs replaced feelings. Reports replaced fear. Bite radius, tear patterns, irregular wound shapes, all incompatible with intentional human violence. Judge Judy doesn't believe experts blindly. She cross-checks logic. If a man intended harm, the injuries would show purpose. If a man panicked while saving, the injuries would show chaos. The injuries showed chaos. At this point, the courtroom energy shifted. Not dramatically. Not loudly. Quietly. The parents felt it first. That slow, sinking realization that the ground beneath their accusation was softening. That what felt obvious in terror now looked fragile under light. Judge Judy allowed this discomfort to sit. She does not rescue people from their own conclusions. She lets them confront them. Attention returned to responsibility. Not legal, moral. Judge Judy examined the parents' actions without attacking them. She contextualized fear but did not excuse consequence. In her mental framework, panic explains reaction, not accusation. The driver's social position mattered here. Judge Judy is acutely aware of power imbalance. Who gets benefit of doubt by default? Who does not? This was not lost on her. The courtroom was no longer asking, did the driver do it? It was asking, why was it so easy to believe he did? That question is dangerous. It exposes bias. Judge Judy doesn't preach. She concludes. By the time proceedings neared their end, the case had transformed. The knife was no longer the centerpiece. The wolf was no longer hypothetical. The parent's fear was no longer justification. What remained was a man who acted without calculation, and a system that nearly punished him for it. The courtroom did not need drama to reach clarity. Clarity arrived through subtraction. Remove assumptions. Remove fear. Remove projection. What remained was truth. And truth, once isolated, is brutally simple.